Good morning, America, and throughout the world, I should say. I must say before I start this video is warning. If you are not ready to change, do not watch this video. Because there is no more excuses to sit there and feel sad, depressed, in a dark hole. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because I've been there. Okay, so it's not something that I'm just making up. You know, we do things in our lives when we get addicted to avoidance, where we don't want to feel what it is that we feel, that sometimes we just think that's who we are. Well, it is who we are. It's not what we are. Who we are is what we did yesterday. What we are is a radiant being full of light and love. All right, it may sound corny, it may sound crazy, especially if you're still out in that spot. But I will tell you one thing. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. I promise. Now, you know, if you're going to operate an engineer school to learn how to drive or operate a cherry picker or a backhoe, you know, you're not going to want a laborer or a teamster teaching you how to do it. You're going to want an operator. Now, I can't teach anybody what to do because I really don't know how to do it. But what I can do is show you how to want to do it, because I'm here to tell you today, and I'm a living testimony, that I've been in the darkness. I never thought I'd see light again. And today I do. Why? Because I opened my eyes and I changed my thoughts because I didn't like what I was feeling. Because thoughts become feelings and feelings become behaviors. So, like I said, if you're not ready to change, just hit save on this. Because when you are, watch it. Because you might need it someday. I know I did. So if you're sitting there and, you know, go look at yourself in the mirror right quick. And think about what you had to drink last night. Or what you smoked. Or what you did just to avoid. How much food you ate. Or how many candy bars did you walk down. Or how you work around the clock because you're addicted to work. Whatever it is. Whatever takes you away from what you're feeling. You know, I'm here to tell you don't need to do that no more. Because when you learn, and by the way, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing my exercise, which I do every day. I'm not a hero for it. But there's only one thing that I could change. And that's behind my nose, bing, right here. All right? And I used to overestimate, you know, my ability to change somebody else. But I always underestimated my ability to change myself. And it kept me stuck because I was trying to change the world to conform to what it was that I needed. And really, the only thing that I needed was me, which I never had. It was so much easier for me to blame it on everybody else, you know, to feel like a victim instead of a victor, you know. And, you know, I wasted so many years, but you know something? I wasted 13 weeks too, if that's the way I want to look at it when I joined the Marine Corps, going to boot camp. But thank God I did, because when I went downrange finally, if I didn't suffer those 13 weeks of hell on Parris Island, South Carolina, forget about it. I would have been a mess. And I would have never made it home, in other words. So, I mean, not that this is drastic, but you know something? We are in a war. We're in a war against powers and principalities. We're in a war against our own minds. And once we learn how to defeat that, and that's the only way you could do that is by taking responsibility for the things that we do. And realize that, hey, you're telling me that I don't have to feel bad. All I got to do is stop what I'm thinking? No, not stop what you're thinking. Just change what you're thinking. You know, do you ever see a dog spinning around in circles trying to find a comfortable spot to sleep? And he ends up exactly where his feet were walking. But he did it until it felt right. Well, that's what we need to do. That's what I did. You know, I'm going to keep it in the eye. I'm not going to sit here and preach to you. I'm not Jimmy Swaggart. But I will tell you one thing. I'm David Murphy. And I know what it's like to be spinning. I spun for 54 years. Now I'm 56. And I finally got peace in my life. But I will tell you another thing. The numbers don't stop climbing. You know what I mean? There's no time to waste. We got to do the best thing that we could do for the journey that we're in. You know, help as many people as you can. And give. I mean, come on. How much can you possibly take? You know, we could take for so long. I was one of them. that I don't have to take today. I really don't. Because I know today that wanting something for somebody else more than I want it for myself is how I get it. And that's peace and joy, because everything else, I know a lot of people that die, especially in the last 2 years. I was speaking to a very good friend of mine last year. I'm sorry, my bad. Last night. And he was telling me how many people died in the last 2 years. It's been like 14 funerals, and I love this guy, This guy's been in my life for years. And I disrespected him when I was out there. I disrespected his business. I disrespected his life, but I wasn't trying to. She said I had no respect for me. And when you have no respect for you, you can't respect anything. So anybody out there that I offended or did wrong or whatever, I want to make an amends to you, because it was nothing personal. It just made me feel different than the way I was feeling at the time. And whatever worked, and that's what I did. So, but I know today I don't have to do that. And I'd rather make you feel better than make you feel worse. So, that's where I stand. Yeah, I'm not big with words, really, but I will tell you one thing. I say what comes to my brain, to my tongue. I just let it fall out. I do everything from the hip. Nothing comes from a piece of paper. So if you ask me what I said, I'm probably going to say I don't know. But as long as you can feel me, instead of just hear me, if you can feel the words, you're ready. If you can't, it's no big deal. It's going to happen sooner or later. You're going to be able to feel it. Everybody has their own recovery. But in order to be in recovery, and I'm not talking about recovery from an addiction. I'm talking about recovery, period. Feeling better about yourself, feeling better about your situation. Loving your family. The family that God gave you. Or your higher power, whatever you want to call them. People get so caught up in that word God. The word God is like the word water. You're not going to get wet from saying the word water, okay? So, it's impossible. The only way to become one with water is to submerge yourself in it. Get in the water. Let it feel it go over your shoulders and over your head. So, that's where I'm at with that. So, if I say you take a word here and there, remember, you can't get wet from water, so don't take it personal. Because nothing is personal. This is all about me right now. This is how I did it. This is how I keep doing it, and this is how I want to do it every day. Just by being able to share what it is. And if I don't share this, and if I don't give it away, I can't keep it. So, yeah, you hear all these cliches and different things that you do in your life, but it's true. It really is. And sure, you're going to fall every once in a while. But as long as you fall on your face, guess what? You're still in the same direction. Capiche? So, listen, I love you guys. I take my hat off to you for protecting yourselves and others during this COVID virus. And, I went out and I sang this song and made a video. And, I did something that I was afraid to do. But I stepped up to the plate and did it. I didn't let it intimidate me anymore. Because to be quite honest with you, I was afraid to take the test in kindergarten. I was afraid to get out of Mrs. Ford's reading class because they didn't read the book to us. We had to read it ourselves. I was afraid of all that stuff. But it's all gone. It's finished. It's done. So yesterday can't hurt you anymore. So please, don't allow it to. If you keep one foot in yesterday and one foot in tomorrow, you pee on today. You just completely diminish the whole day. So love yourself. Put it down. PTSD stands for two different things. Post-traumatic stress disorder. And put that shit down. Because if you don't, it's going to put you down. Capiche? That's just how it is. So, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a Dr. Wayne Dyer or The Secret movie. But I will tell you one thing. Those are my heroes. Why? Because they figured it out. Try it. It works. I'm being for real. And, I'm talking out of experience. I've operated this machine. I know what it can do and what it can't do. I grew up all my life in dysfunction. In one form or another, just like everybody else. I ain't nothing special. But I used to say to myself, my dad never taught me anything. until I sat down and thought, yes, he did. He taught me how, he didn't teach me what to do, really. But he sure as heck taught me what not to do, okay? So even today, I don't know what I want in my life, but I know what I don't want. And dysfunction is one of them. And I refuse to put up with it. I refuse to surround myself with things that don't make me feel the way I want to feel. Because let me tell you something. Nothing can make you feel anything. Nothing or nobody. It's what you're thinking about the situation or what they're saying or doing that's giving you the feeling, because the thought becomes a feeling and then a feeling becomes a behavior. And my behaviors in my 50s was worse than my behaviors in my teens. Come on, enough's enough for me. You know, it was time for me to grow up. I just want to say I can't be any prouder, you know, than being in a country that sends out a $1,200 check because I'm hurting financially because of what's going on. Come on, man. Seriously, wave the flag. Don't fight it. And, you know, yes, we do got to get back to work. But if we're going to go back to work, remember one thing. More people get killed during a ceasefire than they do during a gunfight. Why? Because you take your eye off the target. You take your eye off the pain. You think that it's all done and you get comfortable. That's when you lose it. So don't get comfortable out there. Not yet. You know, still fight the war. Fight it with fire. You know, because, let's face it, 100,000 people is nothing to laugh about. You can't just shake that off. That's a lot of people. So, listen, thank you, every American. And you know, I also want to say something. I wrote a song to the heroes of the COVID. But I'm writing a song about the real heroes. Not the real heroes as far as better than the other ones. But the ones that are staying home, waiting for these other heroes to come home. You know, like when we go downrange. And our mother and our children, our wives and our children, and our mothers, our fathers, our brothers, our sisters, we're all sitting home worrying more about us than we're worrying about ourselves. You know? And it's more scary for them to see what's going on in a hostile area than it is to actually be in a hostile area itself. So I guess what I'm trying to say is use the experiences that you have in life and find somebody that's either experiencing it or going to experience it and reach out and help. Okay? Don't let another little boy sit there all by himself sad because his mother and father can't stop fighting, or his father fell asleep in a car and you got to drag him in the house, or there's just so much violence going on. You know, instead of fighting with violence, fight it with love. Fight it with caring. Show people the right way to fix this, not the wrong way. Yes, there's a lot of things that are going wrong, but that's only because of the training. Okay? Listen, America, I love you, and I'll be back soon. I'm going to try to do this every day. Okay? Semper Fi, God bless, and I'll talk to you soon. And get out and exercise. Ciao.